Good morning to everyone, and welcome back to another informative edition of Policing with You. The program is where we connect the community with work of the police service and discuss matters affecting the public safety and national development. I am your host, Sergeant Shamin Odein, and this morning we are focused on the upcoming major activities and events expected over the next 3 months, including the closing of, I think Green Valley is about to finish off this weekend, the upcoming music festival, White Sand, Summer Crush, and the much anticipated Culturama celebration. These events bring excitement, entertainment, culture, and togetherness, but they also require strong partnership between the public and the police to ensure everyone remains safe. Joining us this morning is our guest. He's no stranger to us. He which holds many hats, but this morning Superintendent David will share the insight of security preparation being put in place and how members of the public can play their role in assisting law enforcement during these major events. We also want to remind the public about the police recruitment drive that will take place this Friday on Central Street, right between there by Flo and National Bank. If you are interested in serving our country, building a meaningful career, and making positive impact in our community, this is a great opportunity to learn more and join our police service. Stay tuned as we begin this morning's discussion of Policing with You. Superintendent David, I want you to introduce yourself to the public and what's your role in preparing for these major events and activities.
Well, good morning to everyone. Radioland and various social media platforms. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here once again to discuss matters regarding safety and security, traffic management, and to give some insights on how we look at road safety, also human behavior at events, and how we as the police force and you, the community, can partner in ensuring that we have overall safety and security and drastic reduction or elimination of anything that can mar these events. So thank you, Sergeant Odein, for inviting me here again to have this discussion. And just to mention some of the things that we look at traffic management, to ensure we have that in place, safety and security in and around the events, and also in the communities where people might have leave and go to these events. Road safety, which would include speeding, drinking and driving, failure to comply with the traffic signs, and failing to stop at a scene of an accident. And we look at human behavior. Human behavior has a lot to do with all those things that we mentioned, but at the same time, it will determine success or failure.
Definitely.
Yes. To let the public know that I'm the division officer for Division A.
Right.
And my sphere of responsibility spans from Gutley at Ross, travel through Bar State to Cayenne and go to Lodge Gut. And then we have Frigate Bay, Southeast Peninsula. And now we have Stapleton and I call it Bayford's area. All those areas are part of my responsibility. So once again, thank you very much for being here and to share information regarding these events just discussed.
Thank you so much, Superintendent David. Over the next 3 months, several events are expected to attract a large crowd. How important is public cooperation during these events?
Well, public cooperation very critical. And when I say critical, supremely critical, because without the cooperation of the public, we'll have chaos. And we mentioned Green Valley earlier. Green Valley is in its culminating stage. Saturday coming, we'll see where they have the parade of troops, and then after that they will have an after party. The street events thus far, they're going well. I would say for the Juve that we had on Monday, I work at that event as the divisional officer, and we had to make some adjustments to the traffic management plan because normally persons will route through Spooners. However, because of from information received regarding the road, we were able to not use that, so we had to scrap that plan. But so we used the main road, and what we did is that because we had one ban, which was very important, so that it made the plan much easier to work. So we had to do some situational management there, and so if the band is on the eastern side, southeast, north, and west, then traffic will flow in to and from those areas. So every way bands goes, we'll have the traffic flowing in the opposite direction to make sure it flows smoothly. And we were able to do a very good job with that. And I believe that persons were pleased. As a matter of fact, one person commented and said, well, this is one of the best we had with the traffic because it didn't have much congestion. Because sometimes persons will see road closure, road diversion, but people still go through and cause a problem. So we were able to eliminate a lot of that. And let's speak about the traffic signs. Though we didn't have the complaint with people move the sign because we were the one who moved the sign because we know what was happening. And some persons from the community, they will also assist with that as well when the ban reached there. So what we noticed in some of the events, so we touched with music festival, right at the top of Victoria Road, the person will see a sign there, but they still come down. And it's a runway going up. Some person will see you cannot go up and East Park Range, but they still want to go up. And you have a congestion there, bottleneck, So we're saying to persons, adhere to the traffic signs that are placed on the road. Adhere to them. So Music Festival is one of the big events that we have for over 3-day period. Carnival, we'll always tap them.
Yeah.
For days, man. So, Music Festival, we want persons to understand around the Warner Park. We know the road.
By now we should.
East Park Range, one way going down. And then they turn left onto the road between NHC, go across to Wellington Road. And you go either go up that little road there, you go over Wellington Road. And then persons who coming from Wellington Road, right there at Baker's Corner, onto Lozak Road, you have to go straight, you cannot turn up. However, some persons will say, okay, I just saw a vehicle do this, a vehicle do that. These are vehicles we permit to do that. For example, may I have government officials, and I wouldn't want to identify which government official, but government officials are parliamentarians, you know what I mean? And other dignitaries that we would permit to do that. And then you go straight across Lozak Road, and then you cannot go up Victoria Road. You have to go left on Victoria Road, back down to Keyan Street. So you go up Victoria Road, and then when you reach at the top of Victoria Road, you can go left or right. Left or right. So we're saying to persons, let us have a smooth flow where that is concerned. Smooth flow. White Sands, we know White Sands will be basically off. The event itself will be off the road. However, large numbers of people will be there, and parking will be an issue. So and the Dr. Kennedy Simmons Highway, some parking will be permitted, but at the same time there will be some cones to restrict something because person already see like a snake winding way in the road. No one want to park, say, a distance away where they can walk. They want to park close to the park, even into corners. Try to avoid the signs and cones that we put there. But that's an offense, so we want persons to cut Summer Crush. That again is another event, so we have to police that, in terms of traffic management. So we're appealing to persons, just comply with the signs, and if you see a traffic warden, a police officer giving you directions, comply. If you have something to do with the event, we're saying, just get out of the vehicle or put your head out to the window and say, officer, this is my credentials to go there. And you know what I mean? And if the time has passed, do not argue, try to negotiate so that the police officer can speak to the officials and say, okay, let him or her come in just for 5 minutes, load or offload, and back out again. Culturama, it's an evil thing, so we have Superintendent Carty, or Lanza Carty, who will do much on that. But what we're saying at this time, just comply with all the necessary safety and security applications that we would have put in place for the benefit of all.
Thank you so much, Superintendent David, for that outline in keeping ourselves safe, especially when it comes to the traffic and the overall well-being of our communities. Superintendent David, what about the restrictions, what I can and cannot take into these functions?
Okay, so we reach to safety and security. We always have a concern wherein person may want to, okay, you hit me last week, me ain't taking it, I gotta hit you back. And this is time for me to hit you back. We're saying to you, resolve disagreement without violence. Once ago, we can pull two persons into a room and say, yo, just shake hands and move on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Agree to disagree. But some person want to hold grudges. So we're saying this is not the place for you. So, firearms, knives, machetes, clubs and baseball bats, cricket bats, ice picks, all these things will be prohibited around all these events. Totally prohibited. We want to ensure that once you come in there, you're coming to enjoy yourself as others come to enjoy themselves. Or I know see many people on this side and they chill out and they watch what is going on, you know what I mean? And you come and do that. You may have a constituency parliamentarian who may come and want to mingle with his or her constituents. That environment has to be safe for them as well. You know what I mean? So everybody think you may have persons come off the ship if a ship is in port. Mm-hmm. They say, okay, let me go bust a jam, and they start to jam. I never experienced jamming in St. Kitts. So let me go and look at the car race in St. Kitts. I never experienced how the race car in St. Kitts. Right. Horse racer. Okay, all right. Costume show. I never seen that before. So we are saying to you, it's not just for local enticement and local participation, but we have persons who looking at our events and say, I'm a person who check carnival around the world. That is an event I would like to attend. So we're saying to you, help the organizers advertise the event to be an international event. So persons can come. And when persons come from different countries, what that means for the country, there's money to be made for everybody who is involved in that event. And sometimes not even involved in the event. I may have an apartment, nobody inside there, GQ, and somebody says, look, all the hotels full out, that's no problem. You understand? So everybody stands to benefit. So let us ensure that our events are clean with a large crowd. So no knives, no machete, no guns. So we know we have licensed firearm holders. Leave that home. The only persons who will have that will be security forces, police, defense force. And there are some events that will have private security and some of them carry firearms for their specific role. Mm-hmm. They may have firearm for that role. But other than that, chiefly police, defense force. And most of the time you see police there and the defense force will control thing. And also we want persons, so in terms of safety and security, not reach road safety yet, but we're saying you're supposed to drive within the speed limit. And persons who are with bands do not want to be close up by the tire or the wheel of a vehicle or the trailer. An easy slip could cause a serious problem. So that's part of our safety as well. And if persons going to consume alcohol, don't consume so much that you lying on the side of the road, vehicles moving and people moving.
Right.
Somebody could walk on your vehicle and drive over you. So all these are part of safety and security. And lastly, with safety and security, parents, your children under 5 and so forth who can hardly manage themselves through a crowd, keep them next to you, hold their hand tight. You know, somebody may say, take a rope and tie them around your waist, but I don't know how you manage that. But what they're simply saying to us, ensure that these little ones are so close to us that it will be hard for us not to realize they're not with us, you know.
Thank you so much, Superintendent David. While we're on safety and security, what is put in place for those who would be out in the public, and then we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
Those who are out at these engagements, what engagement the police in the community will be doing?
Okay. So it comes to crowd control, crowd management or crowd control. Large numbers of people. So we have to be vigilant. Yes, we will have persons enjoying themselves, but we have to be vigilant. Look at crowd movement. So crowd movement, if they bouncing, we look at the bounce. Okay, that is in flow. But if you people scattering about the place, that is unusual. So we are saying to persons who are there, if someone step on your foot accidentally, somebody spill drink on you accidentally, you don't have to call the fight. If someone push you accidentally, you don't have to call the fight. But if someone punch you in the face intentionally, we're saying police officers, they report it. And we are also saying that persons who are standing by, because we have the persons who are participating, persons who are just observing. You see something unusual, report it to the police as well. You know what I mean? It could prevent something from happening. And then we know that persons will be there with their cameras, and the phone and other things, recording to see what's going on. Somebody going to post something later. If something happens, also support the police officer, because it's part of our investigative tool. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring this one in again. Somebody may say, okay, the police slapped me, and I had the car to slap me. The police may say not so. At the same time, we see this, yes, officer, you did hit the man. And we will know how to deal with that internally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it goes for the persons who are creating problems, and it also goes for us as well. Help us to remain disciplined. And the public and the police, we're looking for complete gelling, and the organizers. And thus far, I will say with Green Valley, they are gelling well with the police, they're gelling well with the community. Crowds could be bigger, but at the end of the day, we have to know how to manage crowd. And manage crowd, I mean, not just for the police and the other security personnel, but we are looking at the organizers and the parents and other persons who come. How do you move through the crowd? How do you make it easier for you? And how do you make it safer for everyone come there? Not when somebody match you want to cause a fight and start to throw battles and so forth. And that's why also, glad you mentioned that, we are saying to all persons who are selling drinks, do not sell drinks in glass bottle. Anything with glass, even metal, it should be, we move away from plastic now, so you got to be how we can. Biodegradable stuff, right? So ensure we comply with the laws. We have to ensure everybody comply with the laws. So stay there until we come back again.
Thank you so much, Superintendent David. We're going to pause a bit and we're going to pay some bills and be right back with you.
Money, ready cash, lend the new money. Ready cash, lend the new cash. Come buy ready cash. Come get your ready cash, lend the new money. Ready cash, lend the new cash. Come buy ready cash. Come get your loan fast. What's ready cash is giving you more value when you borrow with us. Take a loan of $2,700 or more and get exclusive rewards. You can also receive special gifts like grocery vouchers, hampers, KFC vouchers, turkeys with qualifying loans. Get a free payment pass. Cause Ready Cash is right for you. Ready Cash, lend the new money. Ready Cash, lend the new cash. Cause Ready Cash, ready when you are.
The specials at Domino's are hot for any occasion. Hot right out of the oven. 1 medium, 2 topping pizza, and 2 20-ounce Cokes, only $35. Free Coke with your lunch until 2 p.m. Small, 1 topping school child lunch special, only $14. 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $69. 2 large, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $92. So come on down or call and order now and experience our tasty oven-baked goodness. Domino's, the home of satisfaction.
For hot wow, call Domino's. This is summer. The Caribbean's premier music experience returns.
Welcome to the 28th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival,
featuring
the incredible Kilani, Fantasia, Beres Hammond, Luciano, Soca King Marshall Montano, Soca Sensation Voice, and Vaughn,
dancehall giant
Movado, Idonian,
and the new wave
Valiant.
Also featuring
Massacre, Cranium, Taurus Riley, Steel Pulse, Dean Fraser and the Black Soil Band, Sanil Mir, Diani, Waddi Tatat, and Zoo.
The legendary
New Vibes Band International. Brandon and ASAP Band, Shelly and Signal Band, plus Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Lucas HE, and Garlic and the Upper Level Band. June 25th to June 27th, Warner Park Cricket Stadium, St. Kitts. Get your tickets now at stkittsmusicfestival.com. The St. Kitts Music Festival, where music meets paradise.
Good morning again to everyone. I am your host, Shamanadine. We have in the studio Superintendent David, who is basically speaking about the major events and how the public can assist the police in making these events a safe and successful one. The lines are now open. You can call 465-1977 and 662-8674. We'll continue our conversation. In the event that we get a call, then we'll take the call. Superintendent David, as we continue, how important is it for citizens to report suspicious activities, and what should they do if they see something concerning?
Well, as we always say, you see something, say something. You hear something, say something. And what this does, it prevents incidents, whether small or major, from occurring, and at the same time, it assists in investigations. And so let us look at the preventative stage. Someone just saw someone slip a mask on his or her head, disguising him or herself, and armed himself or herself with a weapon and moving towards a business place. Should you say, it is not my business? And then, apart from items being stolen, the person hurt? Or you report it and it was prevented? So we're appealing to the conscience of people. So we look at human behavior. Human behavior is saying that we have to have our moral values in check. What we would want for ourselves, we should want to happen to other people. But most of the time when we say that, we're talking about good things. Somebody will say, I don't care if somebody do this to me or do that to me. I mean, if you don't care if somebody do it to you, that means you don't care for you to do it to anybody. But we are appealing to the civic-minded conscience of our citizens and residents to ensure that good champion all the time. We're also saying to that persons should want to be assisting with the safety and security around that. They themselves too behave in a particular way. If you go to jam. If you're going to drink responsibly. If you're going to have children with you, to secure them with you. And the same thing, if your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-wife, whatever it is, come and you feel bad, that doesn't mean you should cause a fight. Anything you say, I enjoy the time being with you, but I have a better person here. You understand me? You don't have to fight. So we have to learn that when we move on from a relationship, just move on, don't cause fight. Because I say that because I remember many years ago, there was a jam session and a woman met her ex-boyfriend and she called a fracas in the place here. Yes. So people feel like they own people, but we have to realize that we have to move on in time. And also you see a crowd of people there, the road was blocked up there, you break the sign anyway. Don't plow through the place. You're going to injure people. So go back, steady, let the crowd pass. Because if your vehicle is damaged, surely you may not know who do it unless the person really was targeting you. You know what I mean? So we have to make sure we do the right things all the time.
Thank you so much, Superintendent David. We're going to go right into road safety. What message do you have for drivers regarding drinking and driving during this festive season? Not only drinking and driving, but the road safety on a whole.
Yes. Well, some people will think that we're going to just deal with drinking, you know what I mean? But some people could take a pill you know,
Right.
for whatever illness they have, and they make them drowsy. Don't take these pills and you're driving, you're a hazard on the road. So we want to plug that in. So it's not just for drinking, but also anything that will alter the way your mind and body works. And when I say anything, I mean anything. So we have those that are legal and we have those that are illegal. Any substance that would affect the way your mind and body work, we know it's a drug. And therefore, do not consume when you're driving. We want persons to adhere to the speed limits. And we say, if you see a 20 miles per hour zone, travel 20 miles per hour. If you want to go faster, 21 miles per hour. That's what they will say to you, 21 miles per hour. It's an offense, but what is 21 miles over 20 miles? You see what I mean? People may rationalize that, but we are saying to you, stay within the limits of the law. But if you're going to move from 20 to 40 and 60, well, and you understand what I'm saying? How can you explain that? So we're saying adhere to the laws. Traffic signs. There are persons who say, okay, all right then, nobody will come, and they just drive out. Now, I have this to say about our truck drivers. Look here, guys, we understand and we appreciate the work you do. You do haulage of dirt, sandstone, and it could be other things for our companies that we have here. But it's not a license for you to say, well, I'm in a big truck, and everybody has got to move when I'm coming to a stop. No. Stop means stop for everybody. Whether you're driving as slow as a turtle or as fast as a rabbit, when you see that sign down there, you should already know your braking distance. So if you're driving fast as a rabbit, well, you know your braking distance will have to be further away when you're driving rather than driving like a rabbit, a turtle. So start braking down. Not when you reach, you start to press brakes and tires stop and smoke coming, and suppose you're driving a tractor trailer. The trailer is going to twist in the road. So we are saying to these persons, comply with the stop signs. Also, another thing again with road safety, if for some reason you get into an accident, stop at the scene. Don't drive off. It's an offense to drive off when you were involved in a traffic accident. Give the appropriate signal. You turn in left, you turn in right, give the appropriate signal. Give person the opportunity to be alerted as to your usage of the road. I like to say this one again, bus drivers. I understand you're trying to help the passengers, you know what I mean, Sarge? I've another vehicle coming, whether day or night, you're putting out your hand. Some people may not see it. It is best for you to drive off. The other driver can see the persons clear at the side of the road, and the passenger who just got off can see clearly both left and right. And everybody should know the rules when you're crossing the roads. Persons out there in Radio Land and our various social media platforms, look left and right and look left and right again before you step off. That's the best thing. And sometimes too, even if we're down in the 4th Street, Victoria Road, Kenyon Street area, the light say go. If somebody's on the crossing, you cannot hit the person, wait, let the pass and then go. You know what I mean? Yes, it's wrong for them to cross when it says go, but at the same time, it's also wrong for you to see them and still run into them. So road safety, we're appealing to everyone, remember the rules of the road. Remember the rules of the road. Blow your horn, indicate when you're turning, ensure that your vehicle have lights on them for brake lights and so forth. And then we realize some person at night, they want to drive with only the fog lights. No headlamp on. Not because you're having the fog lights. The law says lighted headlamp. So if your headlamps are off, you will be ticketed for not driving with your headlamps. And then motorists. Some persons that have a 5-year-old and that might be the only means of transportation. And you have the child on the motorbike, no helmet, nothing there to strap on the child, sometimes the child in front of you. It's easy if a stone get under the wheel, it's easier for the motorcycle to fall than a vehicle to, you understand what I'm saying?
But a child shouldn't be on a motorbike, period.
Exactly.
Period. And we're seeing a lot of that.
Yes.
Period.
So I choose to speak to that at this time. So parents, keep the children off these cycles, even whether it be e-bike, motorbike, wind bike, whatever bike it is. They should not be on those vehicles.
Okay. Thank you so much, Superintendent David. Is there anything new that police will be implementing this year to improve the safety and public engagement? The word safety and public engagement.
Well, we will enhance a bit, yes. We'll enhance a bit. Normally when we have these events, we'll have our VCPs to ensure that persons are not coming to these events with weapons and so forth. We're going to have that, and we'll have more engagement. Persons who are in the band with glass bottles, we're going to engage you. Persons who are in the band smoking, we're going to engage you. So we are saying to persons, if you do not want to be engaged by law enforcement, do not participate in these activities that we consider to be prohibited once you're in this large, crowded areas, where people come to have fun. We're also saying to persons that in terms of doing that, we're going to be using technology. Some areas, some persons might look up and they might see some lights up there flashing. Use drone as well, because we need to have eyes all over.
Right.
So that not just for if something happen, we have to make an arrest, but we also see crowd movement, like I mentioned over here. So we want to make sure we manage the crowd well and traffic as well.
Thank you. Superintendent David, while we engage the wrap-up points, before we wrap up, what would you say is the overall goal of the police during these upcoming events?
Simply put, safety and security, and everyone have a good time whilst they're out there mingling with members of the public, We do achieve it most of the time, but we're saying one event will not mar the event. But one event can, depending on what it is. And that's why we're making this important appeal. Regardless of the event, regardless of who is keeping it, remember, these things are being put out there globally, and people would want to know if that's an event I can attend and have a good time and come back and tell my friends, next time, let us go. So all these community events, Green Valley, we have down in St. Paul's, the Capisti, I think that's what they call it. And then we have the one in Sandy Point. I keep forgetting the name. Black Sands, yes.
Right.
Black Sands. We now have the famous music festival. We have Carnival, Sugar Mass. We have Culturama. And all these events, people are saying our events. But most importantly, they are looking to see how the police making the events safe, and people can maneuver, whether in vehicle and foot, easily and with less obstruction complications. So that's what I want to say to us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We are marketing St. Kitts and Nevis where our local events, you can come and be in a safe environment.
Thank you so much, Superintendent David. Today's discussion has reminded us that safety and security is everyone's responsibility. And as we prepare for the exciting activities ahead, from Green Valley and Music Festival to White Sand, Summer Crush, and Culturama, let us remind ourselves that cooperation, responsibility, and respect for the law can help make these events enjoyable for all. A special thank you to you, Superintendent David, for joining us and sharing your valuable information with the public this morning. ZIZ and GQ, I want to say thank you. But before we go, I want once again to encourage persons who are interested in a rewarding and meaningful career to visit our police recruitment drive this Friday at Central Street next to Flo, between nearby Flo and National Bank. You'll also have one-on-one pre-screening and one-on-one interaction with our force personnel officer, Miss Erta Carey. Come out, ask questions, and explore the opportunity to serve and protect. Thank you all for tuning in into another edition of Policing with You. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and continue to working together with your police service to build a safer nation for everyone. I want to thank the Almighty God for the time that He has given us. Thank you, the listening and viewing audience. Again, GQ and Superintendent David. God bless.
Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now.
St. Kitts and Nevis.